the Chinese year of the Eastern Bullock.
Welcome to Talking Istanbulics, the melting pot of highbrow and lowbrow humour and shenanigans for the young at heart from the heart of Istanbul, with me, Jorma Kirko, and him,
Ray Mack. And seriously, Shakers, hand on heart, I arrived actually a few minutes in the bar after Jimmy, and Shakers, I caught him wildly, uncontrollably, frantically applying Canesten and Travacourt, a double mix of cream, to his butt cheeks to treat an early summer yeast infection. Actually, he happened to pick up recently. And wait for it, the fecker, he's drinking imported Ribena. Shakers, it doesn't get better than fecking that.
No, it doesn't really, does it? And whether that's true or not is another issue.
We are live, loud and proud, bringing you this episode straight from the local juicer of juicers, James Joyce Irish Pub, Istanbul.
Istanbul, exactly. And today's show is brought to you with the support of Deworming World magazine, the magazine that discusses all the latest techniques and trends in banishing parasites from your pets' colons and anuses. This week's show is fuller than a plumber's crack on a Monday morning, and if you like what you've heard so far, why not subscribe on your podcast app and download some of our past episodes and share them with friends.
Where do you come up with these magazine names? Deworming World magazine. Shakers, seriously, we've got a packed show for you today. Kiss and Tell is back with a vengeance, with a bedroom tale of a man who likes a touch of Lord of the Rings in the bedroom. Hayden Stokes, the really woke bloke, who's on a mission at the British Library, folks. But first, let's kick off with Morgan Friedman reading an original poem about the real-life effects for climate change.
Yes, exactly. And if that's not something that will make you use Canesten, what will be? All right, let's go.
Hi, Shakers. I hope you're enjoying your summer. David from Kildare in Ireland wrote to me asking for a poem about climate change. He said that although it's nice to have a real summer, there's a lot to worry about with unpredictable weather systems, and it got me thinking. I spend my year between the US and the UK, but in the summer months, since I was made the voice of Turkish Airlines, I like to spend as much of the summer months as possible in Turkey, where I first met Ray and Jorma. I agree with David that this is worrying, and we felt it more in Turkey this year than many. Remember, folks, if you'd like a poem written and read by me on any topic, just drop us a line at talkingistanbulics@gmail.com. Here is Climate Change by Morgan Freeman. The land of the Ottomans, where summers gleam. The skies are gray, no warm weather to be seen. A few nice days and then the rain pours down. It's mid-May, but it's still so cold in this town. Bought a summer place, I didn't take it lightly. Every time I'd been here, the sun shone brightly. But friends in Blighty tell me it's way too hot. Friends in Ireland are enjoying the sun a lot. This time of year is usually what I like best. No tourists here yet getting in your way. What pests. But our freckled-faced friends won't have the last chuckle. If they rub it in, I'll give them some bare knuckles. I'm a brown-skinned man of means. I deserve the sun. So pasty Brits and Paddies can stick it up their bums. And if I get no joy this year with Turkish weather, I'll hop in my private jet and go somewhere better. And post on Facebook that I'm on the best vacation. When you've got my wealth, you can ignore regulations. So British weather is hot, and it's quite strange. I never thought I'd fall foul of climate change. I'm a modest man. I don't ask too much of life, just to have weather better than they have in Fife. I'm not spiteful, I won't tell them to F off. I just wish them rain and to eat baked beans from a trough.
Or Morgan. Giving it some, Jimmy, on the climate change.
Yes.
I'm not well impressed, actually, with most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to his spiteful best. He hasn't really turned on anyone for quite a long time, has he?
I actually made a note of that word. What a coincidence. Spiteful. In the least, pal. Jimmy, big up to David from Kildare, Ireland. David, how the hell are you, man? Hope you're in tip-top and in good form. Jimmy, I loved, actually, how he defined Istanbul's weather. Agreed?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Do you know that used to remind me a little bit of my nana? You know, she once asked me what I thought of global warming, and I didn't really know what to say to her. You know, this little old lady, and I said, well, you know, I spoke in platitudes. I said, well, it's not really a very good thing, is it? She said, I don't know. She said, I think it's okay. And I'm thinking, what on earth are you thinking? She said, well, the thing is, with this global warming, you know, it's getting really hot. It's hotter than Spain. And soon the Spanish will be coming over here for the holidays instead of the other way around.
Never a truer word spoken.
Do you not think that the word global means that it's getting hotter there as well? And she hadn't thought of that one, actually. It's getting hotter everywhere except Istanbul.
But good old modest bloke, our Morgan, just wants the weather that's better than Fife.
Yes, exactly.
Poor old Fife, yeah.
Well, I think there's I don't know about you, Ray, but there sometimes with me, I do like to check when I'm on holiday what the weather is like at home. And I do check it probably most days. And if wherever I am, we've got slightly better weather, I do chuckle a little bit to myself. I don't know about you.
We're blessed. I mean, I think we're double blessed in Turkey in general. I mean, I love the Mediterranean weather. I can't stand the Irish weather. It's depressing, Jimmy. Depressing as feck.
Yeah, it is. It is in many ways. And, you know, we tend to have lovely summers here, don't we? But you say Mediterranean weather, but if you compare the weather to coastal Spain, it's not as good here. Summer's a lot shorter. You know, and I compare it with my dad. You know, he'll be going out in the sea in April in Spain. And I've been in the sea once this year, and I'm not going in again till at least mid-June. I know that's an unusual year, but, you know, and it's still summer there in November, whereas we're in a kind of much more northern. I think it's because of where we're positioned at the bottom of the Balkans, isn't it? But it's a lovely summer, but it's not as long as a lot of other Mediterranean places.
Of course it is. But Jimmy, as we're living here a long time, you know it, fact and all. June, July, August, September is absolutely gorgeous. I think 4 of the finest, best, blessed with heat.
Yeah, it is. June, July, September, I would say, because August can get a bit unpleasant because it gets humid as well.
September and May is...
May can be a lovely month. Unfortunately, it's not happened this time, has it? But
global warming, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, if you would like a poem written and read for you, just send in your poetry request at talkingistanbulics@gmail.com and we'll pass this on to Morgan. Bernard, I got your email today. Thank you very much. And yours is up next week. Okay. Should we go and do true or false, Ray?
Yeah, it would be a shame not to. Okay, Jimmy. Once Mozart had to write for a singer he disliked, who moved her head up and down with the notes when she sang.
Right.
So he gave her a melody line with a bunch of quickly alternating high and low notes, so she could bob her head like a chicken.
Yeah.
True or false?
I've no idea if it's true or false. I am the kind of person, though, I would find that deeply annoying watching the head going up and down, but then I'd start to find it funny, and I would do that on purpose. Just to amuse myself. So I'm going to assume that Mozart is probably quite like me in that regard. Let's go for true.
Jimmy, I don't care if it's true or not. That was just off the cuff. I haven't a fucking clue, but I do know one thing, Jimmy, for a fact.
Probably was
I know
true.
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was a plucking genius.
Yes, he was.
Imagine, Jimmy, if he had to write for Cardi B or Nicki Minaj. Could you imagine?
I can't really imagine Mozart writing a rap about somebody's fanny.
Jimmy, as a great Irish poultry farmer once quoted, Mozart once flew into a rage and killed all his chickens because all they ever talked about was bok, 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 bok.
Exactly. Exactly.
Shakers, considered one of the greatest composers of all time, but you already knew that, Shakers, didn't you? Wrote his first composition at just 4 years old.
Just say that word again, Ray. It was great.
He wrote his first composition at just 4 years old. True musical prodigy, Jimmy. Skilled
true.
at the clavier. The clavier, a stringed keyboard. If,
Clavier.
I'm correct. Yeah, but
Clavier.
I like to say clavier.
It's the German word for piano.
Wow. Can you
Clavier.
repeat that again, buddy?
Actually, clavier.
Oh, wow, Jimmy, good. And the violin by the age of 5. Performed his first composition before European royalty and toured a lot, Jimmy, as a child musician. Now, the extensive travel, Shakers, cost him severe illnesses, leaving Mozart sickly for the duration of his life. Jimmy.
He didn't live very long, did he? I don't think.
No, I think it was the 30s. It could have
Yeah,
been.
I think I've got it in my head. He was about 34 or something like that.
Jimmy, you're going to love this. Shakers, you will laugh your arse off. Mozart had a certain fondness for scatological humor. That is to say, Mozart thought
Shit.
toilet jokes were outrageously funny. Get a load of that.
Yeah, he would have.
Often.
He would have
Yeah.
done, Ray. He absolutely would have done, because the arse is, and all the things connected to it. Virtually every swear word in German is connected to bottoms, and they even have these. I know he was from Austria, but he was a German speaker, and it's right on the border anyway, where he was from, Salzburg. But the Germans are obsessed with arses. If you've never been to Germany yet, Ray, but one thing that you find, the toilets, they have these kind of platform toilets. So it's exactly positioned so that if you're sitting on the toilet, that your pee will go down the hole as you would expect, but your stoolage, your foulage, will sit on this platform so that you can actually look at it to see if it's healthy before you flush it down.
Do you think when he was on the bog in the toilets, that's where he composed the most popular work, The Magic Flute?
He might have done. He might have done. I wonder if that's what he was referring to, or the magic shoot, anyway. I was listening to something the other week, Ray, about Martin Luther, you know, the German monk who invented Protestantism. And he was he had a scatological obsession. You know, he was obsessed with his guts, but he would constantly curse people and threaten to throw shit at them and shit on them and things like this. He frequently used to say that he was going to shit on the devil. It's in the Germanic mindset. It's all bottoms, Ray.
Yeah, bottoms up. Here,
All bottoms,
lift up that
up
Rabina.
indeed.
If Mark Johnson or Robert or Jonathan could see you drinking Ribena right now.
I had to wash
His
my
family-
hands, though, with that canister.
His family, actually, not our friend's family, Mozart's family also shared the same sense of crude jokes. And it seemed they also had the same shitty sense of humor.
Yeah.
Mozart, Jimmy, was buried in a common grave. Only the aristocracy was buried in marked graves in those days. So to this day, it is not known where Mozart was buried, Jimmy.
You're a big classical music fan, right?
I love classical music.
Yeah.
My wife does. And that's, I have no choice but to listen to it when it's on, especially on a
Okay.
Sunday during breakfast. Yeah, I like it.
Pardon?
I like it a lot. I find
Okay,
it very soothing.
Yes. Yeah, I was just wondering, really. I was thinking that just how you pronounced his name. I was wondering if you were a fan or not.
Yeah. Anyway, where are we?
Yeah, okay. Right, okay. Well, talking about Mozart and his scatological obsessions, let's go from one arsehole to another. It's Caden Stokes, everybody.
Caden Stokes, Caden Stokes, Caden Stokes is a really woke bloke. Early in the morning, as the day was dawning, Caden is a really weird man.
Hi, listeners. My name is Caden Stokes. It's awesome to be here. I'm deeply passionate about challenging systemic injustices and amplifying marginalized voices. Welcome to my world.
Hello. Welcome to the British Library.
I'm looking for a list of children's books for a research project for my PhD.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
Well, would you possibly be able to find the following books? Thomas the Tank Engine by Wilbert Audrey, The Little Prince by that French dude, The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood by Howard Pyle, and The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle.
No problem. We have them all. They're all alphabeticalized, so you should easily find them.
I'm sorry. Would you be able to find them for me?
Okay, I'll get them.
I urgently, desperately need the bathroom.
Okay.
I'll be back in a few
then.
minutes. I've got to
Thanks
go.
for that information.
12 and a half minutes later.
Oh, you're back. I thought you'd fallen in.
Okay, did you get them for me?
Yes.
Thanks.
What's your thesis about, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm writing a thesis on how everything was unethical and shit in the past through the medium of children's literature. So what have we got here? Thomas the Tank Engine? Glorification of rigid hierarchies, promoting unsustainable and exploitative economic systems. That's some seriously fucked up shit.
Possibly. But you know, the stories also emphasize teamwork and friendship, regardless of...
Interesting. I'm keen to see how Howard Pyle represents the African American played by Morgan Freeman in the novel, because I see him as being every bit as important as the eponymous angry white male, Robin Hood.
I think you'll find that particular character was created for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. In fact, many people have criticized Warner Brothers for what some call the noble savage racist concept, where the uncivilized tribesman shows the innate goodness in humanity through loyalty to the white savior.
OMG, you're like so right. Awesome. But I tell you what I do want to know. Why did they have to make that sheriff dude a cis male? Answer me that. It's nothing but a boys' club. It's like so wrong.
What about Maid Marian, one of the first strong female role models in English literature?
Tokenism. Nothing but sheer tokenism? What's to suggest she wasn't a trans woman, huh? Ever thought of that?
I think when you look at literature, you need to look at the historical context of the day. You can't write a book projecting how people will think several centuries later, or drugs that may be there to change the levels of testosterone.
Nonsense. This vile shit needs to be cancelled. It's abject repression of minorities and just spreads ignorance.
It could be argued that it's the opposite, that literature documents the social changes in human evolution and...
It's sheer misogynistic ignorance. These fucking books should be burned in, like, a fire.
I'm afraid you won't be allowed to take any books out if you intend to burn them.
I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna write this paper and then tell everyone on Twitter to reject this vile pulp fiction. So, The Little Prince. The portrayal of different planets and their inhabitants as simplistic, reflecting the colonial mindset of the
The
time.
Little Prince explores universal themes of love, loss, and the search for meaning,
Yeah,
emphasizing
Yeah.
the importance of seeing with the heart and valuing the intangible.
that's just offensive.
It's a good book.
It's very fucking Daily Mail. The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Excessive eating normalizes gluttony and unsustainable consumption patterns, making white privileged middle-class morons like you body shame the obese community. It's disgusting. You know, you're just another slave to the patriarchy.
Sir.
You're like so full of shit. I'm gonna video this and put it on Twitter and show the world that sexism, climate change denial, racism, and colonialism are still celebrated in this library. I'm gonna tweet about it right now.
Please don't use your phone in here, sir. There are rules
No,
in
you
here.
forced me to react this way. I didn't want to be forced to do this to you, lady, but you need to be exposed. I'm going to get my phone out right now.
Sir, do I have to?
Shoot your muck with Chug Vision. Best girls on the net.
Oh shit! I forgot to turn it off.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Okay.
You're disturbing the other patrons and violating library rules.
Yeah,
Come on, out.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Out now.
Now, again, hand on heart, I personally thought the fit librarian handled him gorgeously. Well, she sounded, Jimmy, like a fit librarian.
Do you think so?
She definitely believed in her shelf.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Can I just say, good skills, Joan O'Rourke. You are absolutely brilliant. You took it
Yeah,
to
she
another
did a
level.
superb job with that. Absolutely superb. I said she can
skills.
do any voice, any accent that you want, and she really,
Brilliant.
really nailed it as a stuffy librarian. But she kind of put him in his place, didn't she?
Yeah, but Jimmy, wait. Shh. This being a family show and all, but the bestest part, Jimmy, was when Caden needed to use the washroom, the bathroom, the feckin' toilets, taking all of 12 and something minutes.
12 and a
to
half
knock
minutes.
one out- yeah, to knock one out, Jimmy. Or, for a better talkingist on Bullock's word, beef stroking off.
Yes.
Jimmy went to Chug Vision, the hottest chicks on Netflix. The dirt bag.
Oh, he deserved that, Caden, didn't he? Shoot your muck with Chuck Vision.
That's the word I was waiting for. Give the muck. Oh, you bollocks.
Yeah, I slightly borrowed that jingle from
Brilliant.
Still Game live special at the Hydro in Glasgow. It was just so funny. A guy, Bobby the barman, was boasting about his new iPad, and the first thing somebody says to him is, "So do you get porn on it?" And he suddenly goes all coy, and he says, "Well, I wouldn't know." And he's, "How would I know about this kind of thing?" And the minute he goes to the toilet, one of the old guys, the grandson's got one of these, so he goes into his search history, presses this button, and it just comes out with, "Shoot your muck with Chug Vision, best girls on the net." So I thought I'd borrow it.
Brilliant.
But yeah, Caden, picking on all those lovely books, ridiculous, isn't it?
Yes. And Shakers, now for something a little steamier. It's time for Kiss and Tell. This week, we've got a huge story from a female listener who thought she found the perfect man until she got into the bedroom.
Yes. Okay, let me get this out. Just let me open up the email here. Here we go.
Are you taking the piss? Kiss and tell.
That's right, we want you to spill the detail on your first date escapades, and we decide if it's in his kiss or just taking the piss.
Ever had a date that left you wondering? Share it with us. We'll read it out on air and let's dive into the drama.
So send an email to talkingistanbullocks@gmail.com. And let's kiss and tell, because every great story starts with a kiss.
Are you taking the piss?
And this is from Karen in Nuneaton. So thanks for the letter, Karen. Dear Yorma and Ray, I hope this message finds you well. I love the show. I'm writing to ask a bit of advice. I met a guy online and we hit it off immediately. He lives 50 miles or so away from me, so we've only met face-to-face a few times, but last weekend we decided to have our first romantic weekend away together. I really like this guy. He seemed perfect in every way, considerate on the phone, and when we've met, he always opens doors for me and is genuinely funny. Everything was going wonderfully on our first weekend away, and we went for a nice meal and then decided to go to the hotel to make love for the first time. We were getting intimate, and as things heated up, I excused myself to the bathroom to freshen up. Out of nowhere, he blocked my way and in a deep Gandalf voice from Lord of the Rings said, "You shall not pass." I was taken aback and thought it was a bit weird, but I laughed it off and we continued kissing and cuddling after I'd been to the bathroom, and all was lovely. Things heated up a little, and it felt right until he started to get to what she calls the vinegar strokes. Not sure if I know what those are. I think I can maybe imagine. Suddenly, he switched to a creepy voice impression of the Emperor from Star Wars saying, "You want this, don't you?" I tried to stay focused and block it out, but it didn't end there. Just as I was reaching climax and he was about to ejaculate, he shouted in the voice of Ian McShane's character from Deadwood, "Welcome to Deadwood." While I appreciate his playful side, these impressions during such intimate moments were jarring and, quite frankly, a bit too much for me to handle. I really like him, but I can't shake off how bizarre and out of place those impressions were. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, guys. We've arranged to meet up again next month, but I'm not sure if I can go through this again. Is it in his kiss or is he taking the piss? Sincerely, Karen in Nuneaton. What do we think, Ray?
Well, he started off great. He lasted about a week, didn't he, before he got into the furious jumping?
Yeah, well, she doesn't say, actually. I mean, I guess them living quite a distance away from each other.
But there's great love, though, for the impressions of characters in films while partaking in furious jumping. That all came where he threw out all the muck near the end, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. I mean, I'm just wondering to an extent if he has to do all those kind of film impressions, if he wouldn't be better, watching Chugvision or something. Because I don't know, how would your wife react, Ray, if you were to suddenly surprise her with one of those impressions?
You keep my wife out of this, good lad. None of your fucking business.
I can tell you, Ray, she does not like it at all.
You're going to get
I'm left with my tail between my legs. No, but I think most women would probably find that a bit weird, don't you?
He's a funny character, pal. He's definitely taking the piss, isn't he?
Well, I think he is. But I mean, it sounds like he's a nice guy most of the time. But I mean, I just wonder if he gets overexcited and has to do these voices and things. And
he's up for a good laugh. He's a good character, I think. Just a little bit. I think it's all down to the characters, the impressions, pal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she might just have got the wrong impression of him, actually. So, what should she do, really? Do you reckon she should talk to him about it, or
meet up again? Go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, he's not the worst.
Oh, he's not the worst, is he? But yeah. I think that. I think that.
You reckon he could do an Arnie on it? I'll be back.
Well, to be honest, I thought the Deadwood thing was pretty bad because just after he finished, he referred to Deadwood, which it probably was. I think she's got to talk to him about this one. But I mean, is it worth a dumping, or is it just worth a bit of a conversation? Just saying, look, it intimidates me a little bit.
Two different ways of dumping.
Turns me off a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what are we doing? Dump or have a conversation with Ray?
No. Have a conversation.
Yeah. Okay, Karen, I will go with Ray's wisdom on this one.
But you will.
Yeah.
Why not?
Maybe you could get him to do some impressions of somebody that you actually like. Quite boy-y, nerdy sort of films that he's into. I don't know. Maybe he could do something that's more your style. Yeah. So, thanks for that, Karen. Looks like the gentleman's won a bit of reprieve. If you have an awkward date, it doesn't need to be a first date story. It could just be, it's usually about new relationships. But if you have an awkward date story, why not send in your story to us at the same address as the Morgan Freeman poems at email talkingistanbulics@gmail.com and tell us your story, and Ray and I will decide whether it's in his kiss or he's taking the piss.
Before we continue, Jimmy, was chatting earlier to Darren Hasty, a big avid listener, Jimmy, to our weekly podcast. Tip-top bloke from Ballina. Cheers, Darren. We hope we'll meet up one of these fine days.
Was he the one who sent the joke in last week?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was indeed. And Hasty, I think that's a Scottish name, Jimmy. Definitely has to be.
Yeah, it sounds
Cattle rustlers, Jimmy, like your man Rob Roy from the Scottish borders, I think.
Right.
Fucking red-headed heathens, Jimmy.
Border Reaver.
Darren Hasty listens every week. Never misses the show. Good skills.
Oh, good skills,
Thank you so much, Darren.
Black Milkshake Best Posts of the Week.
Post of the Week, props to Johnny Campbell in Applecross, Westeros, Scotland.
Hi, Johnny.
Stunning small little village, Jimmy. One of Scotland's most scenic driving routes, which I'm led to believe. I'm not too sure. I heard that somewhere.
Oh, it is.
Anyway.
It's a beautiful place to drive in general.
I can imagine. Okay, I'll tell you a wee story, Shakers. A boy with his dad in a drugstore, pharmacy, one day, he points to a box and goes, "Dad, what are those there?" He said, "Son, those are condoms, rubber johnnies." Son says, "Dad, what are condoms for?" He said, "They are to practice safe sex, son." So the little boy is well fascinated now and is standing there and picks up another box and goes, "Dad, how come there are 3 of them in here?" He said, "Son, they are for high school boys. One for Friday, one for Saturday, one for Sunday." So the little boy goes, okay. But he's still fascinated, Jimmy, standing there, and he picks up another box and he goes, "Dad, how come there are 6 of them in here now?" He says, "Son, they are for college boys. 2 for Friday, 2 for Saturday, 2 for Sunday." He picks up a big box and goes, "Dad, how come there are 12 of them in here?" His father, at this stage, evidently perturbed, Jimmy, got emotional as tears rolled down his eyes. He said, "Son, they are for married people. 1 for January, 1 for February, 1 for March." Good skills, Johnny Campbell. Likey, old but gold.
Oh, good skills.
Good, Jimmy.
Yeah, good skills.
That's all for another week, Shakers. Don't forget to subscribe, please, on the YouTube page and leave a comment on some of the videos, please, if you like them. It's the same as Facebook's likes. They don't really help, as you know. But if you comment and share, which we want you to do, it makes it a hell of a lot easier, Jimmy, and more visible to people. So we don't know.
Yep. Indeed, it does. Apologies for not bringing you the interview we promised last week. The guy was in touch last night. He's got a bit of a full diary at the moment, so watch this space. Next week, Dr. Brutus Himmler will be back here, giving Ray some psychological spring cleaning, a little gentle probing. And Hansi will be back.
That time of the month. Jesus. That time of the month again.
Well, you've not had it for a couple of months, actually, Ray.
Yeah,
you've been quite lucky.
Right.
But, he'll be back. Hansi is going to be back with his May horoscopes in typical fashion right at the end of the month. Remember, this is your show as much as ours. We need you to get involved whichever way you can. Following the YouTube page, sharing the links to the podcast on your social media, telling your friend. Basically, we need your support.
Yeah, please, Shakers. Special thanks to Morgan Friedman, Deworming World Magazine, and our ever-controversial Caden Stokes.
Yes, Joan O'Rourke, the wonderful librarian, and Eamon McAndrew, who's still trying to figure out how to get the full podcast on YouTube. Watch this space.
See you all again next week, Shakers. Good
skills.
Talking Istanbulics comedy podcast was brought to you by Ray Mack and Yormer Kiriko and was produced by James Kirk. No animals or copyright were violated during the making of this podcast. Talking Istanbulics 2024.